Hey there, ready to have your mind blown? These 100 world facts are so strange and rare, they'll make you question everything you thought you knew. Grab a snack, sit back, and let's get started. There's a town in Norway where the sun doesn't rise at all for 2 months in winter. Yes, 2 whole months of night. Imagine your body clock. There's a lake in Tanzania that turns animals into stone due to its high salt and alkaline levels. It looks like a creepy art gallery made by nature itself. In the Atacama Desert in Chile, it didn't rain for 400 years in some areas. If you hate rain, maybe this is your dream spot. There's a river in Colombia that turns 5 colors during certain months. It's called Cano Cristales. Locals call it the liquid rainbow. Russia is so big, it spans 11 different time zones. You could have breakfast, lunch, and dinner in 3 different zones, all in one country. In Ethiopia, there's a place called the Danakil Depression that looks like an alien planet. Acid pools, toxic gases, and rainbow-colored land. There's a door to hell in Turkmenistan, a gas crater that has been burning since 1971. In Poland, there's a forest, where trees grow with a strange, sharp curve at the base. No one knows how or why. It's a true natural mystery. Africa is slowly splitting into 2 continents. A brand new ocean is forming right now. We're literally watching a continent break apart. Some islands in the Maldives are made entirely by parrotfish droppings. Yep, the white sand you love. It might be fish poop. The Amazon rainforest creates 20% of the world's oxygen. But it also has its own flying river, clouds of moisture that travel across South America. There is a secret underground river flowing beneath the Amazon River. A river under a river. Nature really loves layers. Greenland is covered in ice. But Iceland has lots of green. They basically swapped names to trick early settlers. Clever, right? The Sahara Desert was once a green paradise with lakes and hippos. Yes, hippos, in what is now endless sand. A desert in Antarctica, the dry valleys, hasn't seen rain for almost 2 million years. It's drier than the Sahara and colder than your freezer. There's a beach in the Maldives that glows blue at night because of bioluminescent plankton. It looks like stars fell into the sea. In China, there's a mountain with a plank path hanging off a cliff where tourists walk with harnesses. It's called the world's most dangerous hike, for good reason. You can find pink lakes in several countries, like Lake Hillier in Australia, caused by special algae. It's real, and no, it's not edited. The island of Socotra in Yemen has trees that look like giant mushrooms and umbrellas. It feels like you stepped into a fantasy movie. In India, there's a village that builds living bridges from tree roots, some over 100 years old. They don't build bridges, they grow them. Enjoying these rare facts? Go ahead and give this a like. It's the easiest way to tell us you want more. The deepest cave in the world, the Veryovkina Cave in Georgia, is over 2.2 kilometers deep. You could fit 2 Burj Khalifas in there. There's a volcano in Indonesia that emits bright blue flames due to burning sulfur. It looks like a sci-fi movie scene. Japan has a train station in the middle of nowhere with no entrance or exit. It's just for enjoying the view. Yes, really, the Pacific Ocean is shrinking by a few centimeters every year. It's getting smaller. While the Atlantic grows, like tectonic teamwork, there is an underwater waterfall illusion near Mauritius, caused by sand flowing off the island shelf. In Croatia, the sea plays music. There's a sea organ built into the coast that turns waves into tunes. Lake Baikal in Russia holds more water than all the Great Lakes of North America combined. And it's also the world's oldest and deepest lake. New Zealand has more sheep than people, around 5 sheep for every 1 human. There's a village in Switzerland where it's illegal to die because they can't bury anyone there due to frequent avalanches. In Canada, there's a place where gravity is weaker than usual. Objects actually weigh less, and it messes with compasses. Got a favorite fact so far? Drop a comment and tell us which one blew your mind. In North Korea, there's a ghost city with tall buildings, but almost no people living in them. In Namibia, the desert meets the ocean directly. Sand dunes run straight into waves. The Philippines has the most islands of any country, over 7,600 at high tide. The longest place name in the world is in New Zealand, 85 letters long and nearly impossible to pronounce. Some cities in Italy are slowly sinking into the sea, like Venice, which now uses raised walkways during floods. Siberia, There are giant holes appearing in the ground, possibly due to methane explosions underground. Mount St. Helens in Alaska once erupted sideways instead of upwards. The world's highest permanently inhabited village is in Peru. Over 5,100 meters above sea level, there's an island in Japan where cats outnumber humans. In the Indian Ocean, there's an island banned to all outsiders, North Sentinel Island. There's a lake in Africa that's shrinking so fast it's almost gone. Lake Chad has lost over 90% of its size since the 1960s. But a mountain in China, Tianzi Mountain, inspired the floating rocks in the movie Avatar. The real thing is even more magical in the mist. There's a huge cave in Vietnam, Sun Dome, that has its own river and jungle inside. It's so big it could fit a 40-story building. Dubai built an entire man-made island shaped like a palm tree. You can see it from space. Mongolia has a singing sand dune. When wind moves across it or people slide down, it makes a low, eerie hum. There's a beach in the Canary Islands with black sand due to volcanic rocks. It looks like a scene from another planet. A town in Norway uses giant mirrors to bring sunlight into the valley during winter. Otherwise, it would stay in darkness for months. In Kazakhstan, there's a spaceport called Baikonur where the first human, Yuri Gagarin, launched into space. And it's still in use today. Some parts of the Earth's ocean floor are still completely unmapped. We know more about the surface of Mars than our own deep sea. A desert in Argentina called Esquigualasto has pink rocks and fossilized dinosaur trees. It's called the Valley of the Moon for a reason. Loving the journey so far? You might want to subscribe. We've got hundreds more world secrets coming up. There's a lava lake in the Congo that glows red at night. Mount Nyiragongo is one of the most dangerous volcanoes alive. Finland has more saunas than cars. They even have sauna buses, boats, and cabins. Antarctica's Doomsday Glacier could raise sea levels by several feet if it collapses. Scientists are watching it closely. Canada has over 2 million lakes. That's more than the rest of the world combined. In Barrow, Alaska, the sun sets in November and doesn't rise again until January. That's 65 straight days of darkness. Bolivia's Sala de Uyuni becomes a giant mirror when it rains. Photographers call it heaven on earth. In Iran, the ancient city of Yazd uses wind towers for natural air conditioning, cooling buildings without electricity for centuries. 80% of Madagascar's wildlife exists nowhere else on Earth, including giant jumping rats and upside-down trees. In Thailand, there's a floating market where vendors sell fruit, noodles, and clothes from boats. You literally shop on water. Pakistan's Atabad Lake was formed overnight after a landslide. It drowned an entire valley and now draws tourists. Once a year, the Amazon River flows backward. A tidal wave called the Pororoca causes it. In Turkey, Pamukkale's hot springs form snowy-looking terraces, but they're warm and mineral-rich. Bhutan measures national success not by money, but by gross national happiness. Yes, happiness is official policy. Locals call it magic. Sweden has a hotel built entirely underground in a silver mine. You sleep 155 meters below ground. The border between Canada and the US is the longest peaceful international border. No fences, no guards in most places. In the Himalayas, some remote villages can only be reached by narrow rope bridges. Even animals cross them. Lake Spencer in Australia turns bright pink naturally. No dye, no tricks, just algae doing its thing. Under Iceland's glaciers are ice caves that melt and reshape every year. A frozen world that disappears and returns. Sahara Desert got snow in 2022. Yes, snow on sand dunes. The world is full of surprises. You can see Africa from Spain at the Strait of Gibraltar. Only 13 kilometers wide. Cappadocia, Turkey has entire underground cities carved from rock, with tunnels, churches, and homes deep below. Parts of the Netherlands sit below sea level, protected by massive dikes and clever engineering. Singapore grows vegetables on rooftops to save space. Even supermarkets have their own rooftop farms. In China's cliffside village Guoyang, locals carved a road into the mountain, using only hand tools. Mount Everest grows taller each year, by about 4 millimeters, thanks to shifting tectonic plates. The Congo River is so deep, No one knows the exact depth in some parts. It's believed to be over 720 feet deep. In Austria's Green Lake, a park floods in spring, turning hiking trails into scuba sites. Benches and trees underwater. In Russia's Siberia, melting permafrost is revealing frozen mammoths, perfectly preserved for thousands of years. There's a town in Spain, Obscura, where all buildings are painted snuff blue, originally a PR stunt, now a tourist spot. India's Ganges River is considered sacred by millions. People bathe, pray, and even spread ashes in it. Antarctica's Blood Falls runs bright red due to iron-rich water oxidizing when it hits the air. Scotland's Fingal's Cave looks like it was carved by tools, but it's 100% natural basalt rock. In Iran's village Masula, every rooftop is someone else's front yard, a village stacked like Lego bricks. Laguna Colorada in Argentina turns pink due to algae, and flamingos feed there, making the whole scene look unreal. Lake Nakuru in Kenya is sometimes covered in so many flamingos, it looks pink from the sky. Colombia's Salt Cathedral of Zipaquirá is carved entirely underground, a church inside a salt mine. The Himalayas are still growing. India is crashing into Asia and pushing the mountains up. In a Croatian cave, arranged bear bones were found, possibly the earliest sign of ritual burial. Rocamadour in France is a town built right into a cliff wall. Houses hang off the stone like bird nests. Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela sees lightning 260 nights a year. It's called the world's lightning capital. In Hungary's town of Miskolc-Topolka, homes and spas are heated entirely by thermal water. There's a giant tree in South Africa with a bar inside it, over 6,000 years old and still growing. Alaska's James Dalton Highway lets you literally drive across a glacier. Iceland gets nearly 90% of its energy from volcanoes. It's clean, cheap, and always on. In Japan's Karama village, men run through the streets carrying blazing torches in the fire festival. It's wild and loud. Myanmar's Golden Rock balances on a cliff's edge. Locals believe it's held in place by Buddha's hair. China is building a whole futuristic city from scratch, Xiong'an, meant to be a model green city. In rural Mongolia, horses outnumber people. Nomads still use them for travel and herding. Beneath Arctic ice lie ancient forests frozen in time, some over 100,000 years old, perfectly preserved. But that's it for today. 100 mind-blowing facts from the hidden corners of our world. If you enjoyed discovering the strange and surprising with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really motivates us to keep digging up more secrets for you.